We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use the box at sign up for 10 points. And here we go.
Yo,
What's up, boys?
Gentlemen, good to be back. I know you missed me last week.
Yeah, show took a toll. We're no guidance, no direction.
We didn't miss a beat, Paulie. We didn't miss a beat, man. Kept it rolling.
Some last minute shares here,
guest.
trying to get some people to join in with us.
You guys, listen. I watched the show last week. You guys did a good job talking about the NBA and everything was going on, the Harden situation, which is a big story. It still is this week.
Yeah, it still is a big story. I mean, we had Cuzzy come out, Christian Morley, last week with us.
He had to show up the Kith hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know he's a baller, but does he have to stun on us like that?
Yeah, right.
The Ryan Fed Kith hat. You know, it's just he does. He's one of them Bitcoin moguls. You know, just
he's got something. I want him to give us a tour of that new Margate crib he's got.
Oh, he's got to see. I didn't even know about that crib. I mean, that's
yeah,
gonna be
on my window, St. Joe's football field. Out his is the fucking bay. He had a nice view. It wasn't showing nobody, but Christian did good. Came up.
I think we're gonna have to do some a summer on site tour with a guest spot down there or something this year.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's a little Wednesday. I don't know if you guys are still in the room of going out, but. Maynard Wednesday, maybe do a show, pop out Wednesday night's our show. A little live from Maynard's on Wednesday.
Listen, I'm always down. I'm always out and about Wednesday. You can do it Wednesdays. Maynard's has always been tough, especially AC. I mean, listen, we're going to be popping. We're going to be coming out. I mean, we're getting out of this COVID stuff and everything like that, and we're going to be having some fun, and it's definitely going to show up. And we're gonna get things back together. You'll have to go for live from some street ball sites too. Do something like that.
Totally down.
Down in what's it? Ocean City's got the nice courts. They got people playing out there all the time.
6th Street, 34th Street. I played out there all the time. Margate, Jerome Avenue. I mean, I played out there this summer before I got hurt. It's always a fun time. That's what ball's about. Up north. Street ball in New York City. It's just that's where the root of basketball is. So when you're talking about basketball, outdoors, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful environment. But
man, so what do we? We jumping right in today. I mean, I know last week we were kind of big on the Harden saga. Now we didn't get to hear your opinion at all on. I guess what you thought of the move, who won the move. So I mean, if you want to just jump right into, now we're a week into it, so you can see. But I mean, what was your initial reaction to Harden coming to the Nets?
Well, my initial reaction to Harden coming to the Nets was, I'm not happy at all how he kind of handled himself in the last few days of being a Houston Rocket. I mean, Houston's been very good to him. He needed Dwight Howard. He asked for Dwight Howard. They went out and got him. It didn't work. They asked for Chris Paul, went out and got him. Didn't work. Went out and got Russell Westbrook, went out and got him. Didn't work. So there was always issues there with something. And then how he handled it coming out, as far as like his play, I mean, he averaged 17 points per game in the 5 games, his last 5 games at Houston. Come on. He that's not effort right there. That's not what he's supposed to be about. I just don't think it sends a really good message to it. From the actual standpoint from Harden getting there and the trade itself. Listen, Houston did nothing but a salary dump, and it was pretty obvious. Tillman Fertitta, that's one of the reasons why Daryl Morey left. Fertitta didn't want to pay these salaries and stuff like that, and Morey knew he was handcuffed, so he got out of there. They got rid of Harden. What they brought back were some 1-year contracts, then they traded Caris LeVert, promising young player, and now for Oladipo, and Oladipo's a nice talent, but He hasn't been himself since his injury, and he's only on a 1-year contract. So when you're looking at that point, Houston, they just try to get younger, salary dump. They got a ton of first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first-round picks, what is it? First-round picks, I guess. Well,
they're dog water.
yeah. I mean, listen, you're looking at 25 and above, right? Especially now. Here's the thing: we're a week later now. All right, James Harden and Kevin Durant are balling. I mean, they're balling. Like I messaged you guys earlier about jumping on James Harden plus 900 to get a triple double. I think this is great because Kyrie's back tonight. I don't know how much he's going to play, but they're going to try to show out against I guess it's the Indiana team that isn't really that great right now. Miles Turner's out, stuff like that. So it is a show. They're going to have some issues on defense, especially guarding the big man. But the bottom line in today's NBA, if you could score, you're gonna win a lot of basketball games. So it's
I mean that's exactly what they're doing too. Durant and fucking Harden have just been lights out.
Harden's averages are what, like 30 and 15 and 10 or something like that. Like I mean, it's insane.
Seems like every night they're going for like 30 apiece. Harden had the triple double the other night. Durant was not too far off. What we brought up last week was the LeVert getting switched over to the Pacers, and it was like, if you're Houston, like why would you want to ship LeVert out? We thought he was a little bit better of a talent present day than Oladipo. And I mean, now it sucks. It just turns out he's now done for the season with some they found a growth
mass
on his. I mean, is that like? I'm not a doctor. I didn't even really look into it. How serious of a?
Well, there was a report out today that I believe it was today or something like that, talking about them finding that mass and that trade kind of almost saved his life. Because
right. That's what I was getting. Is it like a life-saving type of fine, like crazy you got traded and they had to go through that and you're so lucky, or is it just
like anything when you have a mass, it could potentially continue to grow. So they found it now, so they're able to nip it in the bud. So if they let that fester and everything like that, Caris LeVert is a great young player, but right now he's a scorer. He's just a straight bucket. He's a walking bucket. He's going to go out there and he's going to score points. His fit in Brooklyn wasn't the greatest because I guess they're not happy with his basketball IQ, isn't where it's supposed to be and everything like that. But for what he is he's a young player who could score the bucket, score a basket for anywhere. But real big props to them to finding that in his physical, and hopefully he'll have a long career.
Yeah.
What's up, Ant? You go.
Looking at the comments, I mean, Sean says, "How does that trade even stick with all this going on?"
Yeah, that's what initially popped up into my head too. Where it's like player passes the physical, but guess what? Houston wasn't going to take that contract back. That's it. So they probably had a waiver, and if Indiana was fine with taking it and the long-term investment of it, because if everything was fine, obviously they had all the information and they let the trade happen. If it was like the NFL or something like that, I don't think they'd even have the option in the NFL.
No, yeah, that trade's X.
Yeah, because everything's like pending physical.
Right. But they normally don't play a game before any they make them take the physicals first, correct? Like in the
I think so.
That's what I thought was protocol, because Harden was already playing, and then it's like, all right, I think like the next day,
and he dropped like 10 pounds.
I told you he was coming to Brooklyn. He was going to work.
Well, I mean, listen, that was weird too, because it's like when you watch Harden play when he was in Houston, he did look a little overweight, not like he did because he wears multiple warm-ups and he wears like a sweatsuit underneath his warm-ups too. So that kind of added that bulk to him. But the first I looked at it, I'm like, all right, well, let me look at his game tape. And I'm looking at his game tape, and he still looked a little heavy. I don't know if that black uniform in Brooklyn is such a slimming effect. You know what I'm saying?
He was sticking it out. So he was just pretending.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So it's and the thing is too, I've noticed his upper body is a little bit more bulky. So I mean, which is going to need about Kevin Durant. But listen, we're talking about Harden's appearance. What's Kevin Durant doing with that hair, bro?
Yeah, he's losing it. He looks like me.
Listen, we're all losing it. No, listen, we're all losing it. But it's one thing to lose it. It's another thing not to keep it tight.
Yeah, it's not Kevin.
He's just like peasy up. He looks, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's mad that people dog LeBron because of the hairline. Now he wants in on it too. Like, I don't know what's going on, but you're talking about these guys that got the best barbers in the world at their fingertips, and he's going out there on national TV looking like he's friggin' homeless. But keep it fresh. The other night they're playing Milwaukee. I want to talk a little bit about that game, the Milwaukee game on the Martin Luther King Day games. And listen, I love what the NBA does to celebrate Martin Luther King. I don't know about you guys, but there's games on all day.
Triple headers, the triple header.
It's beautiful. It's a good way they could honor the Memphis uniforms. Did you guys see the Memphis uniforms?
Which ones?
The black ones.
Old school ones yesterday?
No, it's black with the gold with the gold running. It's just like a new pattern. They're nice. And then what Atlanta did, where they actually had the MLK on the front of their shirts. They look really nice too. So yeah, it was a good tribute for them. But like, you had the Brooklyn Nets face Giannis, which is everybody's top two teams in the East right now for the most part, and it was a really good game. It was one of the best games that we've had so far this year. But Kevin Durant, James Harden closed that game out. Where was Giannis in the last 5 minutes? Giannis had, you look at the box score, he had 34 points, 9 boards. But I mean, did you guys see that game? Like, where was Giannis in the last 5 minutes?
Middleton had the ball at the end, mostly at the end, and Giannis was nowhere to be found. I mean, I honestly, he's probably afraid to get the ball and get fouled and go to the line because what was it, the night prior to that? He was 1 for 10 at the free throw line. So it was like, I mean, that could he could be a little tentative on the offensive side because he don't want to go to the line.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be an issue with it. But I mean, the fact that you're not even running a pick and roll.
Yeah, no, I agree. We were texting back and forth. we were talking about it. I thought it was a great game, and interesting to see. I mean, at the end, I mean, Harden got the shot, he missed it, got the rebound, and went to Durant. So really, Harden came down and took the key shot at the end too.
And Durant nailed it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Paul?
I was saying I didn't want to jump back too far on the major topic that we brought up with Durant's hair, but I did see a nice meme over the weekend, and I couldn't find the exact one, so I got us as close as possible to it. It goes, why does Kevin Durant's hair look like hair?
It looks like Frog Rock.
Oh man,
that's a good
one. I saw that. I was dying though. Sixers, little Sixers Celtics start for tonight.
Yeah, getting started.
KG said Middleton ran the pick and roll 3 straight times at the end of the game. Yeah, he did run the pick and roll 3 straight times at the end of the game. Poor pull up jumpers, and he never looked to actually pass the ball at all. And he did that step back 3 too, which was an issue. My feeling, I want Drew Holiday involved in it, especially if you bring in Drew Holiday to be really the number 2, because I think overall he's a better player than Middleton. Middleton's a better shooter, but overall Drew Holiday's a better player. Like, Drew Holiday needs to be involved in that. Middleton, okay. But the same thing, Giannis. If Giannis, we're talking about back-to-back back-to-back league MVP. The list is very short of guys in the NBA who did that. And you have a guy in here who doesn't want the ball at the end of the games. And he's not like, listen, Ben Simmons gets a ton of criticism for that, but Ben Simmons isn't the back-to-back MVP. Giannis is the back-to-back MVP, and that is nuts that he doesn't want the ball in crunch time. That they don't give it to him.
Yeah, did you notice how they play him though? They sag off, so that just like people play Ben Simmons when it comes in the playoffs, they were sagging off Giannis.
Giannis will shoot it.
He was shooting them, but I mean the way they play him is they just sag off so far back. Yeah. They just give it to him.
But Paul, especially in this Brooklyn game that we're talking about, is he didn't touch the ball. He didn't want the ball. He didn't touch the ball. He wasn't involved at all. I don't know if that was just Middleton freelancing and trying to be the man, but Giannis will shoot it at times, but he was nowhere to be found except setting screens. I wanted to real quick. I know the Sixers already started playing. Sean Strickland, Simmons with another heater may crack 9 points again. This is a little late information. But the under in Ben Simmons points props
is on fire.
It's 11-1. So if you were able to get in, his over under tonight is 13.5. So that's something I like to monitor.
He's just not scoring, huh?
Well, you know what though, he's killing it in a lot of other aspects, but he definitely needs to improve. That's for sure. My phone's blowing up here.
Not even.
I mean, do you think
what's he averaging? He's averaging 12.
Do you think they consider a trade this year, or you think they'll be involved in something?
I wish we had fucking Harden.
Well, did you see what Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers came out and said?
No.
Hopefully not. That if he plays defense, he'll be all right.
No, listen.
I mean, now he's got to.
No, I'm not talking about Simmons specifically. I'm talking about Doc Rivers came out and said Daryl Morey's always bringing trade ideas to him, like nonstop. And Doc just shoots them down. And he didn't mention any specific player that's in those deals or anything like that. But he said he was just really kind of talking more about the relationship him and Doc Rivers, him and Daryl Morey have. So Doc was kind of like, listen, that's Morey's job. He's going to be out there. He's going to always be looking to improve the team. And he's trying to do that. And he just runs a trade by me. And, I just shoot him down, if he doesn't like him. So I think that's a lot what's going on here. The other thing, though, like if you guys want to specifically talk about Simmons is, he's not scoring as much, but from what I'm saying, Tobias is playing a lot better. And I think that's when Tobias plays a lot better and he's actually their scoring, because when you look at the team makeup, you have Joel Embiid as Joel Embiid. He's going to be your scorer and your focal point. And then you have Tobias, who's actually that second scorer.
Yeah.
And I think that's the role, so when you got them and like Danny Green hitting threes and, all that kind of stuff, I think, that's the role that you really want these guys in,
That's what we said.
I think that's what they expect also. They expect that. They expect Tobias to be the second guy.
Well, sure. I mean, if we're going to have,
they're paying him like that. So
if we're going to have him he's averaging 19, 20 points a game.
I'm okay with Ben scoring.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with Ben scoring 13, 11,
13. Yeah.
Facilitating and playing defense. I mean, if we were losing, like if we were a bad team, I'd feel different. Like we should have did the Harden trade, but I mean, we were in first place at the time, and it's like I don't know. I just feel they were better off not getting involved in that.
Toby, agree. Yes.
And it goes to show too. We're talking about the Sixers now. Seth Curry. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Seth Curry, before he went out with COVID, 59% from three. We already know he's better.
He's been on fire.
We already know he's better than his brother, right?
So if we were in last place and struggling and just playing bad ball, I mean, I would have been all in for Harden. But I mean, we were in first place. We were playing well, and we're scoring we're scoring 120 some points a game. So I mean. It's really.
I agree with that too. Like I said, when it first came out and it said, I think Atard posted it. Sixers are looking to trade. It was Maxey and
it was speculative bullshit that he posted, and I hate when he talks about basketball because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right, and I like I said, Maxey. I mean, it's only you're only fucking 10 games, however many not into the season. I mean, he's been playing good. He plays big minutes. He's not afraid.
Yeah,
we talked about it last week. What was the game they went to overtime? That they was Miami? Yeah, Miami without Butler, they pretty much fucking blew the 12-point lead with like 3 minutes left. But overtime, he was out there firing.
I love his game.
That's what he is.
Right.
Like, Maxey at his best is a nice combo guard. Like I don't like, and him and Shake Milton are very similar. When Shake gets going too, he's a nice combo guard too. So when you have those two guys right there, you want a player like Simmons who can play defense and do the other things, because Maxey and Milton, they're buckets. You know what I'm saying? They want to go out there and score. And when the Sixers were shorthanded, and Maxey, I don't know, he played like 700 minutes that night. You actually seen his potential though, as far as like what he wants to do. He's aggressive. He's scoring. And we haven't really seen too much. And that was one of the biggest things that really annoyed me with Brent Brown. And Paul, I know I talked about this before in the last 2 years, is they never got a combo guard or a scoring guard. You know, they never had somebody that could fill that role. They had Markelle Fultz. They misused him. They had Trey Burke. Trey Burke has been phenomenal with Dallas. Mm-hmm. And he never played them, but he consistently ran guys out there that didn't really bring anything to the table. They need that guy who just has scorer's mentality, because you didn't really have anybody else out there.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the game, you need that guy who's gonna, try to take over the game, take it to the hoop.
And if you're a playoff team too, right? And the Sixers have been a playoff team the last couple of years. Why wouldn't you go out there and try to get a guy who could fill that Lou Williams role? You know, you had other scorers available out there. Like, I mean, and they might not be great basketball players, and I think the biggest reason is because they weren't Brett Brown's type of guys. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what Brett Brown's doing right now, but I know he's not coaching basketball in the NBA. You know, but guys who were strictly scorers, like that were free agents last year, like a Michael Beasley or Jamal Crawford or J.R. Smith or Nick Young, these guys that are not you're not your prototypical company men. You know what I'm saying? They might have a little bit of issues or whatever like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Brett Brown was a scare of those guys. But what happened with the Lakers? LeBron knew he needed scoring, and guess what he does?
Yeah, he went and got gunners. Yeah.
Calls the Henny God up. Henny God. right? Henny God, come here. I don't care what you know what I'm saying? We did this, everything like that. He calls the Henny God up. Henny God, let's go. Right? J.R. Smith went out there. He did his role. He got a ring. Exactly. And they got over that. Brett Brown was afraid of players like that, but the Sixers needed a scorer. That's what they needed for years. Maxey fills that role now. Shake Milton is developing that role, and you don't always need guys that are complete players. I mean, the city of Philadelphia loves Matisse Thybulle, right? I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about Matisse?
I like Thybulle. I mean, the thing with Thybulle is, from what it was 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Was when he was on the court, he was playing, he was getting like some big minutes, and you're like, all right, this guy's going to be good. Now, we're 2 years later, he's decreasing in the big time minutes. He's not. It's how long does it take a guy to blossom into being a legitimate role player on our team? And he hasn't got there from that 2 years ago mark where we were like, all right, yeah, this guy's going to be good. Make sure we keep him. And it was almost the same time with like Landry Shamet was here, right? Shamet was here. He was playing some big minutes, doing some things, and you're like, fuck, all right. You traded him with the whole Tobias deal. And now you're looking at it. Shamet's out there running the court with fucking Harden and Durant. And Thybulle, I feel like he's just not progressing. And like I said, I don't know if that's due to Brett Brown and what he did to him. But 2 years ago, you would have thought by now Thybulle would be pretty much collecting at least 20 minutes a night. Now, am I completely off?
Offensively, his game's not there. I mean, there's guys better than him right now on this team offensively.
Right. But I mean, 2 years, Maxey, 2 years ago, he was out there and he was like, all right, he's serviceable.
I mean, there's guys just outplaying him right now. I mean, defensively, he's a good defensive player.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he's a great defensive player.
I mean,
his on ball.
That's all you've ever heard about him. It's like
exactly
defense, and I mean,
he's very good. When you break down his defense, right? His on ball defense isn't good. Okay, he plays the passing well lanes. He has good anticipation off the ball and behind, and that was they were talking about the product of him playing a lot of zone at Washington when he was in college. So He's a really good energy guy. He's very good as far as playing the passing lanes and getting the steal and stuff like that. Hustle, energy, but limited. He's limited as a player. He's not a great ball handler, not a great shooter, not extremely athletic either. So he's kind of like, now you bring in a guy like, you bring in a real coach, right, with Doc Rivers, and he only plays him sparingly, and you brings like guys like Seth Curry in, you got Maxey developing, you got Shake Milton developing, so it's kind of you have Danny Green too that plays that small forward position. Mm-hmm. He's the odd man out right now, and I think Philadelphia really overrates him, especially some of the fan base.
Oh yeah, he's 100% the odd man out, and that's where I was saying. Like 2 years ago, I mean, he looked like he had potential to be very serviceable for us, and now it's like he's barely getting on the court.
Well, speaking of on the court, you see Karl Malone criticizing Zion about his effort and about his minutes and stuff like that. I mean. Zion Williamson leads the NBA in points around the basket. But, I guess Malone came out and said at 20-something years old, 20 years old or whatever, he should be playing more minutes and he should be coming back and, and being a lot better shape. I mean,
what did he say? Your ass shouldn't get tired or something?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm not a big Malone fan. I'm
Malone played a very, very different game than what Zion's playing.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't playing.
He's bringing the ball up
down the court like these guys were. I mean,
Zion's bringing the ball up court, dribbling 15 times, fucking crossover, hop, step, euro into a dunk. Like Karl, you were just backing up, doing a little fucking hook. I mean, granted, listen, the guy's obviously one of the greats, but Zion's doing a lot more on the court and a lot bigger than half the fucking league.
I mean, so shouldn't he be in better shape though?
I thought he was in shape. You know. I guess.
I mean, he looked.
I felt he looked better this year. He's playing more minutes. I mean, I haven't watched all his games. I mean, does he look out of shape? Is he like sluggish out there? I haven't.
Well, the one thing too you want to say about obviously they have a different way. A different game. Karl Malone and Zion have different games, and maybe if Zion potentially becomes half the shooter that Malone is, from that foul line extended, that's a whole nother story. But Karl Malone was always ripped. I mean, he was always. That's one thing you couldn't say is he wasn't in shape.
I mean, that guy was a hard worker.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about the mailman though is when he was Zion's age, he was banging a 15-year-old. All right.
I knew you were gonna say that.
So Karl Malone is an A1 piece of shit, and I don't, and I'm not sure if that gets enough publicity, like why is he even talking? I mean, in this whole cancel culture, what I'm saying? Like they want to cancel this person, cancel that person and everything like that, but I mean, Karl Malone's still out there running his mouth, which I think is kind of funny.
And you saw it in the Jordan documentary. Like he refused, refused to believe that Jordan, it was just like the way he acted was crazy.
Yeah, listen. Karl Malone's a weird dude, and he's from a different era and a different culture from a lot of people, especially that down south, deep south culture. So
yeah. Say he almost seems like a down south conservative.
He absolutely is.
That role threw the flannel on him, the work boots, and the log cabin.
Man.
That's the thing. He's that's what he is.
So here's the thing. He said Karl Malone said this yesterday, or was it today? Either one, but I mean, Zion's coming off a back-to-back 3 30-point games in a row where he's averaging 34 minutes a night.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck do you want him to do?
And he's making everything too. It's like his shooting percentage is like ridiculous.
I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
Dunking and putbacks.
21, 31, and 32, 26 the game before.
But here's the thing: he's leading the league in 35.
Yeah,
he's leading what?
Dominating.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Here's a little trivia question for you guys, and it's something I saw. And if you guys, you guys are watching at home, you're trying to answer this. I'll give you a couple seconds. Who is leading the league in 3-point shots from the top of the key? Who's made the most
this season?
Who's
made the most?
3-point what?
Attempted?
3 points. Who's made the most 3-point shots from the top of the key this year?
Embiid.
I don't even know if I'd have a.
And you're close.
It's
Nikolai Vucevic from the Orlando Magic.
It's another Sixer.
John Suggs, thanks for stopping in. He got a couple questions here. Will 76ers find a way to stop Drummond? Listen, Andre Drummond has been absolutely phenomenal this year. He's been dominant. As a traditional back center that nobody wanted, he's been phenomenal. But they don't win. So, I mean, it's not really a way to think. But here's a question, I think is a little bit more relevant is comeback player of the year, John Wall. I'm going to say no. And I don't even think John Wall's in the conversation. Okay. Comeback player of the year right now, it's between two people, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I don't even see how John Wall's in the conversation. It's great that John Wall's finally getting back on the court, but to do what KD and can we talk about what Steph's doing? I mean, he's dropping 60 balls against some of the top teams in the league with not much help. He's got a rookie center, he's got this, he's got that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Durant and Steph both are going to have John Wall over that. Just because they're all better teams. They're both going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's probably got to be Durant. I mean, well, actually, you got to see where the Warriors end up in the West without Clay and that team. If they stay hot like this, and this would also go into my last year projection of what I said Curry would do without him.
Well, where are they at now? They are 7-6. They hold the 7th spot,
which isn't nothing crazy, but they need to end up like a 5.
Yeah, for consideration, possibly. Yeah, for heavy consideration.
Especially the MVP, because as of right now, my guy's running away with it. Told you all that. He's like almost minus points to take him down.
Who's that?
Luka.
For MVP?
Nah, he's like plus 450, but he's a favorite.
I don't think he ends up though. I don't think he gets the MVP though.
Just saying, early in our race.
Well, the problem with Luka is.
Did you go with Curry?
Who me?
Tony?
I went with AD. I went with AD.
You went with AD. Who'd you say, Curry?
I don't remember. I definitely didn't go Curry. I don't think I went Luka. I really
I
don't.
went Luka. You went AD. Are you sure you didn't go Steph Curry or Steph?
Steph Curry? No, I wouldn't go Curry because with Klay Thompson hurts. I think Curry's going to have the same issue as you did, as Luka's going to do, is winning games. Because right now, they're not winning enough games to be an MVP. If the Dallas Mavericks aren't in the playoffs, Luka doesn't win the MVP.
Yeah, but Westbrook, the year that he won it, he averaged a triple-double. They weren't no 1, 2, 3 seed in the West. They were there. I think they were an 8 seed.
But that's not what I said. I said he didn't if Luka doesn't make the playoffs, and then
right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a legit possibility that they don't make a playoffs. That Mavericks team isn't really showed much. Yeah, I know it's very early, but when you look, and if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs in the Western Conference, right, they're all pretty solid teams. I mean, maybe San Antonio drops out, maybe the Warriors fizzle out, but listen, Denver and Dallas right now are not in the playoffs. Denver's going to make the playoffs.
You got.
I mean, and let's talk about the Pelicans. I mean, we're talking about Zion, but you know what? Brandon Ingram's out there. Zion Williamson's out there. How come this team isn't in better playoff contention? I mean, when are they going to take a step up?
We're saying the Rockets or no Pelicans.
The Pelicans. I mean, listen, if everybody's
they have their team. They're not missing nobody, and we're getting all this Brandon Ingram, all the hype about him. They're what is their record?
The Pelicans are like 5-8.
5-8.
Yeah,
that's tough.
If the Sixers are 5-8 right now, the city of Philadelphia would be on fire.
You're right about that.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, imagine if the Sixers drafted Zion Williamson, right, instead of Ben Simmons, and they're 5-8. They would be roasting Simmons. I mean, roasting Zion the same way that they're you know, I mean, it's a Negadelphia concept, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's down in New Orleans, he's 5-8, no one gives a shit. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Watch out, Memphis. Memphis, they went without Ja for 7-8 games, and they're still sitting up there in the 8th. I know it's way early, 13 games.
They won, but they won 5 in a row. That's you know. I mean, I think between them and Utah, I mean, you're looking at the 2 hottest teams in the NBA right now. You know, I mean, Utah's won 6 in a row. You know, Orlando Magic's going the other way with lost 6 in a row. That might be because our boy Markelle Fultz got hurt, unfortunately.
Possibly. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I joke about that.
Cooled down. Atlanta cooled down.
Nets on a 4-game win streak.
What about the Knicks? Knicks against the spread? The Knicks?
Well, that's if you notice, that's I had that in the write up about the Knicks. You know, real Vardy. I mean, Julius Randle is balling. J.R. Barrett is putting up stats. I mean, you know, Mitchell Robinson's out there blocking every shot he can get. But Julius Randle, he was on the Lakers, he was on the Pelicans. He's always looked good. He always looked like a player. I mean, to me, he reminded me like when I'm looking at the Pelicans and they have Zion. And I mean, that's kind of what they had with Julius Randle. You know, I mean, Julius Randle's a little bit better shooter, a little bit more complete player, not as strong underneath. But I mean, this guy was a top pick out of Kentucky. I mean, is he finally blossoming in New York Knicks? And are the Knicks really, you know, going to be able to maintain this and show something long term?
They got a young crew. They got a young crew, a new coach, good coach. So, I mean,
here you go, right here. We got a little parlay going in.
What do you got? I sent you my plays earlier for you guys who didn't see them. It's Harden to get a triple-double tonight, and John Collins over 16.5. Cam Reddish is out. DeAndre Hunter's out, so Collins should get a ton of opportunities. What do you got, Paulie? You got something late for us?
Yeah,
let's make money tonight.
This one's already in, so you can't take it.
What is it?
Just little player props.
Show us. Well, come on.
I kind of like the Magic tonight. I like the Magic. No Towns.
Magic Timberwolves game.
I
would give out
Volkovich guy.
Bruno's watching. He's got a fan.
Good. Over rebounds 11.5. No Towns. He should dominate the boards tonight. I like the Magic right there.
Breaking news. Can we got the ball, the little thing here?
I thought you said you don't like to do that little ball.
No, I don't. I'm fucking around. Luka Doncic just went to the locker room.
Oh no!
All right.
Taken out with a leg injury.
I'm out. That's my fantasy team. How many times? How many players did I go through last week? 6 guys I lost. Luka's out now too. So ain't no sense in me to be here talking about nothing basketball. I can't even pick a fucking fantasy team.
Oh man, come on!
Literally.
Hit that parlay; it'll pay for your league.
Yeah, that's what I need. Back to FanDuel. What do we got? Anthony Edwards.
What you were talking about a play tonight. One late play I do like is the Clippers team total of 120.5 over.
Yeah, the Kings play no defense.
Kings are giving up to over 230 points a game.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, over 130.
They play
points.
no defense. Yeah,
Sure.
I like
Wow.
that too.
And can we talk about we made a little joke earlier about Seth Curry, right? Best shooter. I mean, he is the best shooter in the league right now at 59%. But have you looked and seen how well Paul George is shooting this week? I mean, this year? And he's shooting 51%. He's averaging eight attempts per game. He's hitting 4 threes a night. I mean, come on. I mean, from what we looked at playoff P last, bouncing the ball off the side of the backboard. I mean, we're here, and he's actually kind of shooting good regular season. So,
yeah, but he's always played good regular season.
Well, he wasn't. Not last year. He was up and down because of the load management and shit like that. He was kind of up and down, But now it's a little different this year, I think. I mean, the way he's shooting,
he's fed up with all the criticism. You know what I mean?
Well, if you look at what happened with if you look at what happened with the Clippers last year and all the expectations, and they had the new uniforms, and they were talking all kinds of shit. This is going to be LA, it's going to be our city, and all this other stuff, right? And then they completely flame out and embarrass themselves. They have more to prove this year than I believe any team in the NBA, really, because Lakers won their chip last year, right? LeBron and AD done. The Lakers might be better this year than they were last year, honestly, with Gasol and them guys.
Oh, Lakers are definitely a better team this year.
Now you have the Clippers. The Clippers are sitting here like, all right, Kawhi, Paul George, they kind of like faded away a little bit. So I think they now have to kind of step up and really maintain this momentum in the regular season and go through the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, let's see here.
Sixers up 7.
Yeah, they're cruising. They're cruising. We love it.
Devin Booker, is he still afraid to shoot? Because the fuck's going on with him? Him and Ja.
Ja's a point guard first. I mean, he's not a scorer. He's not a shooter.
Booker, but they still sit there and go off for 30 a pop. I got absolutely nothing out of
what's Booker? Booker averaging 22 points a game. I mean, when you had more of a floor general like Chris Paul, I mean, he's going to have off nights too shooting the ball. So I mean, look at Booker's last 5 games: 24, 23, 25, 33, and 12. So, he's not shooting a 3-point percentage though. I mean, 33% last 2 games, 20%. I mean, that's not efficient at all. It's for somebody who's supposed to be shooting the ball.
So. Yeah. Do I keep Booker in here? About to go.
What are you doing? A FanDuel lineup?
No. Just a little 2-team parlay. 25 to win 667. Devin Booker over 32 and a hook. Christian Wood over 28.5.
What are they adjusted? They can't be
alternate.
They're the alt lines, right? 32. All right. So who we got? So we got Booker tonight.
Booker and Christian Wood.
The Suns are playing the Houston, right? So they're playing each other.
Same game.
Interesting.
Christian Wood's a really good player, man. He's a nice.
I took him a little low too, 28.5. I mean, it could probably
former Sixer Christian Wood.
That's terrible, man.
Listen, we could go here and talk about like a lot of people
put a full team together, Tone.
But here's the thing too. We talk about the process, right? Jeremy Grant, absolute balling in Denver, balling in Detroit this year now, right? Yep. Christian Wood was a stud last year in Detroit.
Yeah.
How come we didn't capitalize on these guys when we had them? It all boils down to Brett Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do Booker 32.5, Wood 30.5.
What kind of odds are you getting on Booker 32.5 right there? If he's averaging 22, you're going 10 points above his average.
It ain't that. It's 2. Hold on. It's like 2 more buckets. Shit's not even that crazy.
Well, how much?
He's
What are the
hit.
odds? What are the odds you get?
Oh, I'll pull it back. Oh, Devin Booker, 32.5 plus 460.
Okay.
And
Hey,
then
go big, right? That's what you want. Go big. That's what we're here for.
That's it.
yeah,
You saw
but
the,
if you
you
figure,
saw
all
the
right,
parlay
think
I
about this.
missed.
His normal one is he's at
J
like
Rock, what's up, buddy?
That's worth a shot.
so 2 threes, you're there. 2 more threes.
Bang that shit out. Saw J Rock.
Who's Rocco Montana having
No,
some issues?
that's
That's your boy?
yeah.
So he must have been talking to you then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He knows you well.
Too well.
And Gerald brings up a point too about the undrafted Christian Wood. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant they had, Christian Wood they had. I mean, listen, Brett Brown was hired to lose, right? And this is the thing that really cost the Sixers team now, and why they had to go out and overpay for players. You hire a coach that has a plan to lose, right? He's not the coach that's going to take you to the championship at all. He's not the playoff, for development and actually when it's time to actually win. I will just look at Dwight Howard, get a massive rebound. But Brett Brown, wasn't the guy to take you to the next level. Doc Rivers should be. He could at least develop talent and has some respect. So it definitely is a thing. Speaking of Dwight Howard getting that rebound, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with what Dwight's been doing. I was really skeptical.
Great.
I was skeptical because Dwight Howard's career has been kind of up and down. He's put up some Hall of Fame numbers in Orlando and other stops. Went to the Lakers, didn't work out with that dream team or whatever with Nash and Kobe and them guys.
Yeah.
And then you have him going to a couple other stops. And then he finally gets his championship with the Lakers, and he did a great job with the Lakers, played his role perfectly.
Yeah.
And I was skeptical that he was going to come here after getting his ring finally. Now he's getting paid. I was a little apprehensive about what he was going to bring to this team, but I got to tell you, I mean, he's been playing hard. The effort's been beautiful. I mean, I guess he has a good relationship with Doc Rivers. Hopefully, him and Embiid could kind of work together well, and nothing but praise for Dwight Howard for what he's been doing. And that's the young veteran. That's the veteran leadership, and him and Danny Green, these guys that the Sixers needed for the last 2 years that hasn't been here, and it's good that it's recognized.
Yeah.
And Dwight Howard's been great.
I feel like he generally likes being here. Like he really likes being part of the team, and the role that he has, he enjoys doing. Being a mentor and teaching these guys the ropes.
He was the same way last year in LA.
Mm-hmm.
The happy, giddy guy. Not even too crazy of a statement. I think he's just happy to still be in the league and still playing, and knows when he went to, where was he going? Like Houston. He had a couple rough.
Houston, the first trip of the Lakers. I mean, yeah, he was all over the place.
You felt like
the Wizards.
He was almost out. You felt like
he was done. Like he wasn't getting along with anybody. Wasn't playing good at all. Was just a clown.
He's got to blame himself for that, though.
Out of the league for a year. He did a Barstool interview. He's like, I changed my entire mindset, my entire mentality. It's a good interview with Big Cat PFT. But he's like, I'm just a completely different guy. And he's like, that's what I'm taking it into. And that's when he got picked up by the Lakers. And I mean, you see it from last year and this year. I mean, he's light years of a different locker room presence anyway.
You're talking about a guy, Dwight Howard in Atlanta, horrible, right?
Yeah.
Dwight Howard. Then he went to Charlotte, and then he went to Washington. I mean, for a stint, and it was just like an absolute mess. And give him a lot of credit for turning things around. And it was all it was his mentality that needed to be changing, and he did. And I was very worried that he would revert to that mentality because now he got his ring and everything like that. So it's good.
Yeah.
Dave Bruno asked about Seth Curry. Is he alive? Yeah, Seth Curry's alive. He was expected to play tonight, and he's not going to play. I guess he did some workouts and stuff with the Sixers, and his conditioning wasn't where they wanted it to be. He actually had COVID, so I'm not sure how bad it affected him. So maybe he's just not ready, from all reports is he's not ready physically to return yet. So hopefully he gets better.
Yeah, I mean J-Rock, I would kind of say.
Yeah, J-Rock, what are you saying? What is
He
that?
turned it around in Houston.
He averaged 6 points.
Oh, hold on. Let me. How come nobody put this up? I just skipped this comment.
We were just talking. I just said that. I'm like, what's he talking about?
Sixers do not need Embiid. Just my opinion. Wow. Okay.
That's a hot take.
I don't even know how to respond to that, to be honest with you. I mean, you guys want to handle this one?
What do you suggest, J-Rock? You tell us.
Can we send him a link? Get him on here.
You tell us.
The only person who has less chance getting in this show besides Jeremy is Nick Nazario.
We have breaking news here on the Sports Box.
This just in. J-Rock is still an idiot. That's all I got to say on that part. Like,
listen, Joel Embiid actually isn't. Yeah, John Suggs puts up. He only has 12 points in the first quarter tonight.
Terribly efficient. Too efficient for us.
Embiid does have some flaws, you know, as far as effort and accountability and stuff like that. Passing out a double team.
I mean,
you know, but
if anybody's watching the game right now, just absolutely bullied.
Yes.
Just turn around, bop, back down, spin it. Like,
yeah.
We don't need
so,
that,
I mean, now but see, here's the thing. Hopefully in the fourth quarter he brings the same aspect and same energy.
Yeah.
I think he's bouncing that because we were saying Dwight Howard's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even stupider.
Listen, you know, I mean,
I like Dwight Howard. He's fucking 40.
He's perfect
He's
for
a
what we need.
mentor in the locker room
for the team. Well, yeah, he's perfect for what we need him for.
Yeah, not to be our starting center. I liked Boban, but I'm not going to get rid of Embiid.
And listen, and Dwight Howard's 35. He's only 35. So
listen, once you're over 33, unless you're LeBron James, you're done.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade
I like
another
this
year
lineup too. I like when they got Shake and Maxey and Simmons, all three out there.
Yeah, because you have a lot of scorers next to Simmons, and then you have who's else out there?
Well, they got
Furkan. See, Furkan's a guy I could deal without.
I like those three guys on the court with Simmons.
See, if you guys knows that play, Joel Embiid needs to get the ball to Simmons right there. He gets the ball in double team. He just didn't see him. I mean,
yeah,
like that's the thing. Like Embiid's basketball IQ is low, and he for as much talent that he has, he really needs to kind of, he really needs to kind of, just get that his passing ability, his IQ is just better. I mean, Ben Simmons is tied. He's right there with Anthony Davis with points in the paint per possession when he gets the ball. And if I don't know if you guys are like me, I'll watch this game, at 5 a.m. this morning.
Now look, yeah, I'm a little behind. I saw the play you were just talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, right there, a quick pass to Simmons, that's easy too. So it's like say, Gerald Skellin about Sixers making the moves during the season. I don't know if you were watching us with earlier today, but earlier in the show we talked about Doc Rivers' comments. Daryl Morey is active. He's very active. He's always bringing trade scenarios and trade thoughts to Doc Rivers, and Doc just really hasn't seen anything that he likes that he wants to change. So yeah, with Daryl Morey, the Sixers are definitely going to make some kind of move. And it's very, very high that they do something. These troll sites and everything like that, they kind of make up all these trades, these scenarios and stuff like that. It's all nonsense, but there's definitely going to be something done for the Sixers this year. That was for you, Paul. What do you think of his Hail Mary parlay? Is that?
I said I don't think it's that much of a Hail Mary. I think it's a pretty good bet. He just sent it over to me.
Let's hear it.
It's a four team parlay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, right there, it falls into the Hail Mary aspect. But
Well,
he's got the Clippers 10.5, the Suns 5.5, Magic -4, Warriors -1.5. I mean, my only thing is,
There's
I
no
could
way
never,
all 4 favorites cover.
right. I could never take just the 4 favorites. It's tough.
so is Orlando?
Honestly, that Rockets Suns game, I would be the iffiest one, in my opinion.
So, like, you look at it, I mean, the Spurs, like, if I had to take, honestly, if I had to, I would just probably take the Kings just because they're so, I mean, the 10.5.
No, see, I would just, the safe bet is what Tony's bet is the over, the Clippers over. That's the safe bet.
Right.
Because the Kings don't, or just the Clippers over.
Let me explain this to J Rock real quick. You're never going to be on this show, ever. Never.
Not by us. I've asked.
That's not our exactly.
I've asked to have you on.
That's not our call because we love your freestyle Fridays and you're kicking old school and everything like that, J Rock. That is the powers that be that run the sports box have a ban on bringing you on the show, and we will get kicked off the air and have to go rogue if we do bring J Rock on.
Could they possibly kick off this 3 though? Come on.
We do what we want. You know, I mean, it brings us to the topic about Brian Attard that we haven't.
We don't want to play.
Here we go.
No, we're not. I'm not going to go there like that. You know,
we should get the SBPA shirts made. Sports Box Player Association.
Listen, I'm only a player. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot, Paulie.
That's because you have a dork running the show.
I ain't mad at him on that comment, but
I guess Brian. Is he talking about Brian? Because right now it's me and Tony running this show.
No, he's talking about he's not talking about the show. He's talking about the show in general. He's talking about, listen, I mean,
I'll stop doing the banners and let Tony run it, and then you probably be more true.
Yeah, but listen, this is how it is.
Real talk. You got really Jerry. Shoot, almost was talking to you, G Skis. Yeah,
Jerry. Man, your little nephew funny. He funny. He's young. His whole generation is just so funny as shit. You know what I'm saying? They made me laugh. Like they do a fucking line in the fucking bathroom.
I can see this.
And talk about like, oh, they're fucking not dorks. They're fucking dorks. Come on.
No. I can see the 76ers picking up Amari Spellman.
Amari Spellman's a nice player, local guy from Villanova. I mean, when you're looking at it like that, he hits that mid-range J. I mean, it's something that they get another big body, that could extend. But I don't know what the realistic aspects of them picking him up. So
Sixers need to bring in Bradley Beal.
I mean, what's a realistic trade package for Bradley Beal?
I was going to say that. Who do we get?
I mean, he's only leading the league in scoring again. I mean, he's a straight bucket. I mean, he's stuck down there in no man's land, in Washington. They're not really doing anything. I mean, what do you guys think the Sixers could do to acquire Bradley Beal, or where do you think a better fit in the NBA is for Bradley Beal?
If we're going to get any kind of top-notch scorer, a guy that's just going to give you buckets like this, I mean, the other team's going to want Simmons, I would think.
No.
No?
Well, they're going to want him, but I don't want to give him up. If I'm trying to get Bradley Beal, I want Simmons and Embiid. I want Beal, Simmons, and Embiid to stay in some shape or form. Have to stay.
Yeah. Well, then.
Because listen,
you're gonna have to deal with
it. At this point, if we didn't get Harden, any trade that we do, we cannot get rid of either one of them two.
Right.
Like they're the only possible one that you maybe thought about doing, and that would have been for Harden. I mean, now it's you gotta maintain both of them to bring in Beal.
And as much as Simmons is bashed for his offense, as far as scoring ability. Beal is just the complete opposite on the defensive end too.
Defense.
He's one of the, what are you slurring them worlds on 7-on-7 now? What you said?
I said he don't play any defense.
Exactly. So I mean, so that's what I'm saying. You have to complement them together. Plus Beal's role. I mean, Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey, both of them would probably have to be gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Suggs brings up another good point about Zach LaVine. He's wasting away in Chicago. I mean, they're in a complete rebuild right there, giving their keys to Kobe White and Patrick Williams and them. And LaVine's doing all kinds of stuff. And it's funny, LaVine and Beal, we talked about these guys a lot last year, all-star snubs, right? So, I mean, when does their value on these bad franchises come to play? I mean, eventually these bad franchises have to get rid of these guys. I mean, I guess they don't have to get rid of them. I mean, they could have guys out there scoring 30 points a night and just losing, at an embarrassing clip.
That's it. So what they're saying is the Sixers would have to give up possibly a first-round pick or a pick and a solid young player in the likes of Matisse Thybulle. See ya. To bring in Beal? I mean, I don't even, it doesn't even say first round. It just says a pick.
That don't make
I guess
sense.
it's assuming in the NBA it's got to be.
Yeah.
So they got the Warriors, the Sixers, and I thought it was the Heat, the other one. No, the Celtics for Beal. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like the give up point is too crazy. I mean, I think they'd be out of their mind if they thought they were going to get somebody back like Simmons or an Embiid, even Tatum, Jason or Jaylen Brown, like how they were saying the Celtics there. I don't see the Celtics giving up a guy like that. Beal is like the last piece of your puzzle, but you have to keep the puzzle intact to get there.
I'm gonna comment real quick on this. J-Rock did a show on AEE. That's All Entertainment Network. The defunct All Entertainment Network. The canceled All Entertainment Network. The no longer exist All Entertainment Network. So you went on there for 3 hours, and now it's not a network anymore. It's canceled. So I'm not saying
what happened to AEE?
Yeah, that's those guys. I guess they used to be friends of the show, but now they're not friends with each other, and they kind of broke up. But whatever. Yeah, we'll see what it is. But listen, we'll see. Yeah, it's Tobias Harris would definitely be the player that I would look to move. Because when you look at positions in the NBA, they're not. You're looking at really a positionless system. Okay.
Yeah.
And Tobias Harris is the power forward, and you could simply have Ben Simmons guard the other team's power forward, and you could go a lineup with Jeremy Beal, and Beal and whoever you could get. Whereas Beal and LaVine are very similar. They're all offensive players, but that's like we talked about earlier that they need a straight scorer, guy with a scorer's mentality, and Maxey and Shake are young guys providing that. Quick look into the game in Cleveland tonight. Brooklyn Nets down 2. Kyrie is balling though. 8 for 10, 17 points at halftime.
Shoo.
My James Harden triple-double bet looking doable. I mean, he only has 2 points at halftime, but he has 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Kevin Durant's 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So, I mean, I guess they're feeding Kyrie and kind of getting him back on.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they work out how they all play together.
Seti Osman is going 16 points at halftime. So him and Kyrie are trading daggers.
John Suggs says Tobias Thybulle, first round pick, 2, 3.
First round pick.
John,
23rd.
Giving away a fucking lot. To bring back the dish from Ish.
Yeah, but what are our first round picks going to be? They're going to be so low.
Yeah, but I don't think we have to give up 3 first round picks Tobias Harris and Matisse Thybulle?
I don't have much trade value to Matisse Thybulle right now, but I mean that if they want to take him and develop him, I don't think Thybulle is a good fit with Rue Himachara down there. Himashura down there in Washington, but I mean, they could take him. I like that trade idea, Suggs. I would probably do that. I mean, the 2027 pick, I think it's a little out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think you'd probably be looking at more like a 2021 first rounder, a pick swap for 2022, and then a pick, and then 2023 first rounder. And listen, if you could get Bradley Beal next to Simmons and Embiid, I mean, somebody could close the game. Your picks, your picks are not going to be. They're going to be 25 and up, no problem.
Sure.
But I mean, you're going to have to then figure out what you're going to do with the Seth Curry, because then him and Beal are a little redundant.
Come right back off the bench.
Yeah, no, I mean they would have that role there. But to have Curry, Maxey, and Shake Milton off the bench, I mean, you're looking at a lot of undersized guards. So you're going to try to maybe bring in maybe move like a Shake Milton for a power forward or somebody like that could be available. But it's all speculation. It's fun to speculate, and that's what we do,
Man, it'd be great if we could work Tobias in any trade and get rid of all that huge money in that contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be the only reason. The only reason why I think Tobias would be a good get out. But like I said, right now he's the second leading scorer on our team. It's almost eclipsed the 20. And if I would have no problem paying Tobias Harris if he performed how he did when we brought him in, and then that first 6 months he was here, because he was, like we said, he was on fire, and then just was nothing. So,
well, I mean, that has a lot to do with the offense that they were running. It
sure.
has a lot to do with Tobias Harris himself too. Because let's the rumors around the Sixers locker room, and there were a lot, is once Tobias Harris got paid, he became extremely selfish, self-centered, everything like that. And you've seen it too, because and this is the thing that Doc did when he got here and Brett Brown didn't do. Doc Rivers called Tobias out for being selfish, his ball movement. He said it in a way where he wants him to make quicker decisions and ball movement. Mm-hmm. But Tobias Harris would get the ball, he would dribble the ball 14 times and then shoot the ball. He's a complete black hole. And now he's changed. So let's give Tobias some credit for that part. And I have no problem with how Tobias Harris is playing right now. You know what I'm saying? As far as if he could bring this and he could shoot the ball well, this is progression, and that's good to see. And you weren't going to see it on Brett Brown and that offense that he's running. I mean, Brett Brown had Jimmy Butler and stuck him in the corner for 2 months.
Right.
So, and if you look at those, if you look at the San Antonio teams and that offense that they were running that Brett Brown came from, what wing player in San Antonio really lit it up? You had Manu Ginobili, you had Kawhi, and they were good scorers and they were situational scorers, but they weren't out there really providing, epic scoring as the number 2 guy. Everything was Tim Duncan, and right now Joel Embiid and Tim Duncan. I mean, Tim Duncan is a much better player at this point in their careers.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So everything's good though. So it's almost halftime here. We got a 1-point game at the Sixers. I mean,
after injury, he was never the same. Do we? I mean, we kind of already threw out our little picks for everybody, right?
Yep. Like I said, late games, I'm on the team total over for the Clippers over 1 point.
I'll find you one right here too on this Steph Curry. I just love these alternative points.
That's one thing I do like FanDuel about, is they do alternative points. So if you get a good matchup or again lead, you can go there. I personally prefer DraftKings. I like the layout better, the odds booster better. I think it's just a little bit better overall.
FanDuel don't have triple doubles either. They combine.
Right.
They do the combos.
They don't have the triple double props. There's there's plus and minuses about both of them. They're definitely both best in the industry. I mean, when you look at other sports books out there like the Borgata and I even looked at Barstool a little bit and stuff like that. They're a big step behind. You know what I'm saying? And I think DraftKings and FanDuel are set above, and they both have nice features. And the in-game parlays for FanDuel, I like.
Yeah, the same game parlays are great. I love them.
I like that, and I do like the alternative points because you get great odds for predicting the guys want to have a best game. Especially a guy like Harden too, or Beal or these guys that are just ultimate scorers. I mean, I don't know what do you guys know what Beal's or Harden's points over under was tonight, or what it's been lately?
Nah, I didn't see the beginning of the night.
So anyway, just so say it's like 26.5, right? If you think they're going to have a good game, you take the over 26.5, then you take over 30.5, then you take over 35.5. You know what I'm saying? And you just keep hitting and hitting. Right. I mean, so even though if he doesn't hit, and then you progressively do your bets where it mathematically works out where, if he hits that second tier, you can't lose anyway. And you're free rolling to the higher odds. So what happened here with Market? What did Marcus Smart get fouled shooting a three? Oh my! Yeah, Danny Green has to be better than that. So Sixers right now are down 2, 38 seconds left.
But
all right, gentlemen, you guys ready to wrap it up? We always had fun. Tomorrow night, right? We got our UFC show starting. You guys see that?
I saw we have a new show. Yeah, UFC.
Yeah,
guys,
UFC. I was supposed to do it, but it's just a little too much for me doing the NFL and UFC. I can't do all that. But they're going to go over to Conor McGregor. We got Lou Bird and Bobby Esau joining the show. Bobby hopefully does a good job. He's a kid I coached when he was little. He's a young guy. He's kind of funny. There's a funny story with Bobby. I'm coaching Little League, and the kid gets on base, and he's like, "Coach, I'm leading the league in RBIs." I'm like, yeah, how you doing that, Bobby? How you doing? He's like, oh, I just know I'm leading the league in RBIs. Like, all right, good job, bud. Yeah, but yeah, he's good. I think them guys will do well. They got a big fight to talk about this weekend, McGregor versus Poirier. I think McGregor gets an easy W. I'm going to be taking McGregor by knockout. So he's minus 310 right now. So when you're looking at value, there's not much value in him. So hopefully, the finishing odds are a lot better. So So we'll see what's happening. But Sixers down 3 in the halftime. So I guess we'll wrap it up, gentlemen.
All right, boys.
Yeah, man.
Till next week.
Next week.
And I guess Sunday, Ant. We're gonna be on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm in Sunday. You know that.
Sunday. All right, gentlemen. You want to take us out, Paul?
Yeah.
Don't forget our sponsors: Buy with Burn, Condradas. I don't know all the.
They're not sponsors. Man.
Thank you for watching the Sports Box. Follow us on Facebook at Sports Box Show, Twitter at Sports Box Show, Instagram at The Sports Box Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 points. See you next time.
Oh yeah. I follow Tony.
Major shout out to him. He's got the funniest post.
The funniest post ever.
Oh my God. I love that man.
Oh yeah. I follow Tony.
Major shout out to him. He's got the funniest post.
The funniest post ever. Oh yeah. I follow Tony.
There's one verse that stands out, at least for me, and it goes like this.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck